Hi, welcome back to the GPU hierarchy. I had one of my viewers comment that my frame times looked all sorts of screwed up with the Indiana Jones and the Great Circle testing, particularly on Nvidia, and I think on Intel as well. And he showed videos basically with much smoother frame times. Actually 4K, if you're looking here at the 4080 Super, isn't too bad. There's a little bit of micro stuttering and variance going on, but generally speaking, that's a pretty smooth line. And this is at 4K ultra settings, as you saw at the beginning. So all of this looks pretty reasonable. I wouldn't suspect any problems, and that's probably where I started and why I didn't think anything was out of the ordinary. The issue is that if you go to higher, or if you go lower resolutions where frame rates are much higher, things start getting a lot choppier. And notice you've got the overlay from Riva Tuner Statistics server in the top left. In the top right, you can see the frame view overlay. So what's important to notice is frame rates are hovering around 90-ish frames per second, give or take. Minimums, 1% lows, are down around 79, sometimes as low as 70 frames per second, I think. It doesn't usually go much lower than that. And if you're looking at the little micro stutters going, oh, that looks terrible. In reality, I don't feel those. Where you would feel them is if it's happening at like between 65 and 55 frames per second and you're on a 60 hertz monitor. That could cause it to be more noticeable, especially if it's not like a G-Sync or FreeSync monitor. But here, running on a 144 hertz display, even without VRR enabled, I just don't feel any sort of real micro stutter problems at 4K or 1440p. If we skip ahead to 1440p, the chart looks way worse, and it looks like the game might be unplayable if you're just looking at all those thick lines in the top left. You go, whoa, that's a lot of frame time variance. If you look at the top right, you can see the 1% lows are down around 80 frames per second compared to an average frame rates up in the 130 to 140 range. That's a pretty big gap. But the thing is 80 frames per second is still quite smooth. And so you still don't generally feel the micro stutter, but this isn't good. I'm not trying to say this is the way it should be. Root cause, I think, might be related to Windows 11 24H2, which I do have installed on both my 13900K and my 9800 X3D system. I made the choice to upgrade just because I felt like, well, it's been so long since 23H2, it should be ready. And now I'm stuck going, man, did I screw up and I shouldn't have installed 24H2? And the answer is looking increasingly like it might be yes, at least until drivers and some other stuff gets updated and fixed. I think AMD released their 24.12.1 drivers, which maybe are doing better with 24H2 than Nvidia and Intel. Tough to say for certain without going back and reinstalling an older version of Windows 11 and then redoing testing, which all of that takes a ton of time, unfortunately. So mostly I'm just putting out this video to say, yes, there appear to be some performance anomalies going on with not just my 13900K system, but with both my test systems that I've tried. And I think the root cause is probably going to end up being Windows 24H2 on Windows 11. That is not helping things out. How to fix that? That's the dilemma I face. Do I want to roll back or do I want to move forward? Let me know what you think in the comments. Thanks for watching. Take care.